In today's video, we're going to go over why it's a huge positive in today's market for the broker that you choose to work with, whether you're buying or selling a property here in Long Island, to have a good broker network. We're going to go over what that actually means and how it can benefit you as a buyer or a seller to achieve your goal. My name is Anthony Vito with Real Broker here in Long Island, and the reason for the video today is I find this coming up more and more often when I'm speaking with buyers and sellers in our first consultation, whether they're looking to buy their first home, a second, or whatever. I find it coming up that I'm speaking about my broker network and using past examples of how it has actually helped me serve my clients better by having a good local broker network that I can lean into and leverage in order to actually get deals done in this market. So I wanted to make a video today so that buyers and sellers really understand what that means and what I'm actually doing to leverage that in today's market. So the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto rule in business, also applies very much so when it comes to actually the number of houses that an agent or broker is selling here in Long Island, right? So the rule says that 20% of the agents will be doing 80% of the business. And I have to say, it's basically the case here on Long Island. So the point of the 80-20 rule is relevant here, but not to say that the agent that you're working with, if they're not in the top 20%, doesn't mean that they're a bad agent by any means. And they might do a great job at servicing you and helping you accomplish whatever you're looking to do. But it's more of the fact of when you're speaking with a broker and trying to understand their broker network and how they can leverage that to basically better help you. If you're in that top 20% and you're networking with those agents who are doing most of the transactions, who are getting the most of the opportunities to bring to the market or to offer off market potentially, it really helps to have an agent that's in that niche market locally with the top 20% of realtors. So oftentimes in my market, I've been able to leverage this broker network in order to better help the seller either get a deal done and find a buyer who might not have looked at the property in the first place, but because of the network I had with the local brokers, I was able to make sure that buyer came to the property, or even an off-market opportunity with buyers that I've been representing, reaching out to the broker network that I have locally to say, hey, who has something that may not be listed? Maybe it's coming on, or maybe they're just not looking to put it on the open market. Those opportunities I've also been able to bring to clients because of the broker network that I have. When I'm looking at an offer that's been presented to my seller, we're reviewing the terms and conditions. Oftentimes we'll look at who the agent is, of course, and their background, if they have experience, etc., and how the deal is crafted. And usually what you end up finding with that is the more transactions or the more time in business or that the agent actually has, the better their other parts of the deal will be. They probably have a very good lender relationship in place or an attorney relationship in place, title relationship, all the other factors that are actually going to play a part in getting that deal done. An experienced agent who does a lot of transactions and basically has a lot of clout with the local broker community will help give the seller's agent assurance to say, hey, I've worked with them in the past, for example. I know the lender that they're using. I know the title company. I know how that they deal with situations. So it helps provide confidence in that actual offer going through and getting to the closing table. It's also really important when you're looking at things that may come up in a deal. For example, if we're dealing with a property that may have some things that maybe don't have a CO, or maybe there's a couple of title issues we need to clear up, or some outstanding possession things we need to look at. If there's an agent that I know has experience on the other side of the deal, for example, it may be easier to overcome those things to make sure the deal gets done and that actually gets to the closing table. Right? So if we're dealing with an agent who has never seen something like that before, oftentimes when they're speaking with their buyer or their seller, when it comes up, it might not go as well and maybe turns into a bigger issue than it has to be because it's the first time that the agent or the broker is seeing something like that. And of course, I was a new agent at one time too. It's not to bash new agents. It's just to say that if they haven't dealt with something before, the first time it comes up, it might not be as easy when it actually comes to fixing that issue versus with an agent who's dealt with something like this before, that has the correct contacts in place in order to handle it and also knows how to properly address it with their client to keep the deal together. Another really big factor when it comes to a broker network is being able to leverage opportunities in that network. So the first thing that I'm going to do when I'm going to list a property, well, one of the things that we're going to do when we're going to list a property is on my timeline, I have a point in there that I'm always going to make it a point to tap into my broker network to reach out to these people and let them know about an opportunity that's coming to the market. So it might be somebody who recently sold a property in the area, and I might be able to say, okay, they probably have other buyers that are looking. So if this property just went under contract a week ago, mine now is going to be listed, I'm always going to be reaching out to that broker to say, hey, do you have anybody that's still looking in the area? Give them a heads up. I have a 4-bed, 2-bath coming on the market, X amount, similar price range. Don't have to give them the exact address, but you're kind of sprinkling out those breadcrumbs a little bit. This way you can kind of keep that interest and activity going. But if I don't reach out to them like that, maybe that buyer isn't super notified. You kind of lose that shiny penny idea. But being able to have that broker network to tap into when I'm representing a seller, that's just one way that it would work. And that's just one way that we can actually make sure that help bring more attraction to the property that I'm representing. Another thing that's huge in this market when it comes to low inventory is really being able to tap into your broker network when you are representing certain buyers, right? So I've got multiple group chats that I'm in with my network locally that I could basically say, hey, I have a client looking for X and X. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath in the Suffolk area. I'm not looking to spend more than X and doesn't want to do work. Being able to learn about things that might not actually be available on the MLS yet, just by tapping into my broker network, has been a huge help in recent years when it comes to this low inventory to bring opportunities to my clients. Not always does it mean you're going to get an exclusive access to a property before it's listed, but at least I can begin to have the clients maybe do a drive-by, get an idea of what the taxes are, the insurance, so their mind starts working. So when the property does come on, they kind of have that first opportunity where they're already prepared, ready to go, and you're all just bringing more opportunities to clients. And when you're dealing with low inventory, dealing with a lot of competition, I have found this to be super, super helpful. Another really big one is market knowledge, right? So you have a market like today where the interest rates are either going down, they're up, they're moving all over the place. There's a lot of stuff going on in the media. As a broker, you understand what's going on in your own deal, so you're getting that main, that firsthand market knowledge. But if you're able to tap into a broker network, that actually gives me an idea of more what's going on around me, not just waiting for what goes on MLS and seeing it there, but if I'm constantly speaking with other brokers in the area on how activity has been on listings, what they're seeing when it comes to terms, how deals are going with their lender locally, what are the rates actually looking like, what are closing costs, all these things that I'm able to basically just talk about, so you're getting a better idea of the market. I'll have a really good understanding of the relationship between active, pending, and sold property versus me just looking on MLS and trying to read that data. But if I can get firsthand experience from other agents who are doing a lot of business in the area, it's only going to benefit me when it comes to representing buyers and sellers. Well, thank you guys again. My name is Anthony Vita with Real Broker. Thank you for tuning into today's video about how you're going to leverage your broker network and what it means to buyers and sellers in today's market. These are just a couple of things that I've been doing over the years that have really helped me benefit my clients. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Of course, my info is below. You can have my Instagram there. Please subscribe to the channel. Any questions at all, you can always shoot me a direct message and I'll be happy to share some more tips and things that we're doing in today's market to help our clients.